Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system based on private ownership and profit as a basic engine of the economy. In this system, individuals and companies have the right to own factories, land, and stores, and to sell whatever they want at prices determined by the market, not by the state. The main idea of capitalism is that people are free to work, produce, and trade. The more a person works or the smarter they are in investing their money, the more profit they can make. The state intervenes only in a limited way and allows the market to operate freely. A simple example: if you have an idea for a business like a cafe or an online store, you can start it and earn money from it. In capitalism, you don't need permission from the government, and the state is not a partner in your project. The market decides your success or failure. Supporters of capitalism say it encourages innovation and motivates people to work and produce. But critics argue that it can lead to large inequalities between the rich and the poor, because those who have money have more opportunities than others. In short, capitalism is an economic system that gives individuals the freedom to own and manage wealth and relies on competition and profit to drive the economy. Conservatism. Conservatism is a political orientation based on the idea of preserving traditions and old values and avoiding rapid changes in society. Supporters of this ideology believe that laws and customs that have endured for a long time carry wisdom and experience, and that sudden changes may lead to more problems than benefits. Conservatives usually support the role of religion in life, believe in the importance of the family, respect law and order, and consider the military to be an essential part of the state's strength and stability. They do not completely reject change, but they prefer it to be gradual and well-considered rather than fast or abrupt. In politics, conservatives may oppose certain social changes, such as same-sex marriage, because they believe that traditional marriage between a man and a woman is the form that society has known since ancient times. Socialism. Socialism is an economic and ideological system based on the idea of equality and social justice. It believes that wealth and resources should be distributed fairly among all members of society, rather than being concentrated in the hands of a small group. In socialism, the state plays a major role in managing the economy. It owns or oversees key sectors such as education, healthcare, electricity, and transportation, with the aim of ensuring that everyone receives their basic rights, whether they are rich or poor. A simple example: in a socialist system, if there is a hospital, everyone can receive treatment there for free or at a symbolic price because it is supported by the state. The goal is to ensure that no one is deprived of education or health care due to poverty. Supporters of socialism believe that this system reduces poverty and gives everyone equal opportunities. However, critics argue that heavy reliance on the state may kill the spirit of initiative and reduce efficiency and creativity. In short, socialism is a system that seeks to reduce inequality among people by distributing wealth fairly and providing basic services to everyone through state intervention. Communism. Communism is an intellectual, political, and economic system that aims to create a society where there is no private ownership, and all wealth and resources are shared equally among everyone. In this system, there are no poor or rich people. Everyone works according to their ability and receives according to their needs. Communism believes that the means of production, such as factories and land, should be collectively owned so that no one can exploit others for money or power. A simple example is that in a communist society, there are no private factory or company owners. Instead, all people own these factories together and work in them collectively, and the products are distributed fairly among everyone. Supporters of communism see this system as a way to eliminate social injustice and achieve fairness and equality. However, it requires strong organization and sacrifices from everyone. Critics of communism argue that the absence of private property might reduce motivation to work and innovate, and that the system could lead to total control by the state. In short, communism is the idea of a society where everyone shares wealth and power equally, without private ownership, in order to achieve complete justice and equality. Union. The trade union is a political and economic thought that focuses on the role of workers and unions in managing the economy and society. The trade union believes that workers, by organizing themselves in strong unions, must control factories, companies, and even political decisions instead of the authority in the hands of owners of capital or governments. The basic idea is that those who work are the right to make the decision and not those who have money only, and therefore trade unionists encourage the establishment of strong labor unions that are able to protect workers' rights and demand to improve their circumstances. A simple example: if there is a factory owned by a rich person and hundreds of workers work, then the trade union says that it is fair that the factory is managed by the workers themselves through their union instead of only one person controls it that earns profits and that usually oppose the capitalist, and they see that they are oppressed by the worker. The authority and money are granted to a small category, as they do not trust much in governments, and they prefer that things be managed from the rule. That is, from ordinary people, through democratic organizations from within the work environment. In short, the trade union is a thought that calls for workers to control work and production through their unions, and that the authority be in the hands of those who produce and not whoever possesses. Libertarianism. Libertarianism is a political philosophy that fully emphasizes the freedom of the individual and wants to reduce the role of the state to the lowest extent possible. Libertarians believes that everyone has the right to live his life as he pleases and behaves in his money and property freely as long as it does not harm others. In this state, the state must be limited to protecting basic rights such as security, private royal protection, law enforcement, and do not interfere in economics or personal life significantly. A simple example: if you want to start a small commercial project, libertarians, they say that there should not be two laws or taxes that hinder you, and you must be free to manage your project in the way you see is appropriate. In short, libertarianism is the idea of reducing the state's intervention to the maximum extent, with confirmation of the freedom of the individual in all aspects of his life. Nazism. Nazism is a political movement that appeared in Germany in the early 20th century, led by Adolf Hitler. This movement was based on extremist nationalist and socialist ideas, as it believed in the superiority of the Aryan race and called for a strong national unity based on German ethnicism and culture. The Nazis believed that the German people, especially the Aryan race, was the best, and that they have the right to judge strongly and maintain the purity of their race. For this reason, they used violence and repression against those who considered them enemies, especially Jews and other minorities. The Nazi regime was distinguished by being a central dictator, as one party took control of the entire state and preventing any form of opposition or political freedom. One of the most prominent examples of the practices of this system is persecution and mass killing of millions of people from Jews and others, in an attempt to impose the idea of one race and strict order. Nazism caused the outbreak of World War II, which led to huge human and material losses and left a deep negative legacy in history. Feminism. Feminist is an intellectual and social movement that aims to achieve complete equality between women and men in rights and opportunities. Women believe that women have the right to enjoy the same rights as men, whether in education, work, political participation, or social life. This movement seeks to remove all forms of discrimination against women and is terminated by the terms and laws of women and deprive them from expressing themselves freely. For example, if there is a workplace that gives women less wages than men in exchange for the same tasks, women are demanding equality in wages based on the principle of and equal wages for equal work. Feminism is not limited to women only, but it is an invitation to all members of society to understand the importance of equality and justice and work to change ideas that reduce the value of women or marginalize their role in society. In essence, feminism was and still seeks to achieve justice and gender equality, and to confront the discrimination and injustice to which women are exposed in various fields. Republic. The republic is a system of government that is based on the principle that the authority belongs to the people and is not confined to the hands of a king or an individual ruler. In this system, leaders are chosen through free elections, and their role is to serve the interests of the people. The people in the Republican system are the main source of power, and this power is practiced through actors who are elected to the age of laws and make political decisions. The Republic aims to protect the rights of individuals and achieve justice and equality among all members of society. Among the simple examples, in the Republican state, there is no king who governs life, but a president or government council is elected for a specific period of time, and if their performance is not satisfactory, the people can replace them in the following elections. The Republic believes in the principle of democracy and popular representation and attaches great importance to respecting the law and ensuring basic freedoms. In short, the Republic is a system of government based on the authority of the people, in which leaders are chosen through free elections with the aim of achieving justice, equality, and protecting the rights of all. Separatism. Separatism is a movement or political orientation aimed at separating a specific group or region from an existing state in order to establish an independent state or a separate political entity. This desire is often established as a result of national, cultural, religious, or economic reasons, as the group concerned seeks to manage its affairs independently of the mother state. Separatism movements may take a peaceful character, which is to make popular referendums or reach political agreements between the parties concerned. In other cases, these movements may turn into armed conflicts if peaceful solutions are not reached. In short, separatism expresses a specific group's desire to separate from the mother state in order to form an independent political entity.